Name?
A454 Higgins.
Date of birth?
10th of July 1963.
Date of sentence?
November 2001.
Sentence?
15 years.
A454 Higgins, you're being released on parole. You haven't completed your full term of imprisonment. If you break conditions of parole, you will be returned to prison immediately.
I won't be back.
Sonny, I wish I had £1 for every one of you who said that. Wait in here. You can have the new boy dry his eyes.
Hi, I'm Tom. How the Yankees I'm knowing in here?
Tony.
You okay? You get long?
5 years.
It seems like a long time to you now, but
5 years.
I came through here 12 years ago.
12?
I remember it like it was yesterday. Still the same paint on the walls, still the same graffiti on the doors. They say you should never write your name on the walls or you'll come back to read it. Superstition. And still, I haven't left my imprint on them.
How'd you do it? 12 years?
To begin with, I fought them. They weren't gonna break me.
From rebel veins, my life I drew, in rebel arms I lay. From rebel lips, the lessons drew, that led me day by day. I'm rocked to rest on rebel breasts, I'm nursed on rebel knee. There woke and grew, for weal or rue, a rebel heart in me. There woke and grew, for weal or rue, a rebel heart in me. Take a lesson from me, big lad. Don't take any shit from them. And by them, I mean everyone who's not you. The screws, the governors, the quacks, other prisoners, whoever. It's you and them. Don't buckle for one moment. Because if they see that, they'll be onto you like flies around shite, and your life will be misery. Come on, you bastards, I'll take you.
And I did take them. Wasn't on the landing 2 minutes.
Welcome to your new apartment, Higgins. You have a long-term lease on it and I'm your new landlord. I'm Sir and you're A454. Got it?
The name's Tom.
You left your name on the outside, Higgins. You're a number in here.
Well, 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 Mr. Higgins. You had time to cool off, getting bored with your own company. By the time you get out of here, you'll have run out of things to say to yourself. You might think you're a hard man, Higgins, but let me tell you something. I've seen them all over the years. Big lads going to do big things. At the end of the day, you get out of here with your tail between your legs. Big pussies. And you're not going anywhere for a long, long time, Higgins. And you better get used to it.
I got used to it. I spent more time in the punishment block in the first 3 years than I did in the wing.
Is that solitary?
Yeah, only you and the four walls. 5 paces forward, 5 paces back. All day, every day.
Isn't that easier to keep your head down?
Oh, it is. But I wasn't going to take any shit from them.
Don't take no shit from the big lad. It's you and them. Remember that.
I love this shit. It's great. Any type of shit does me. Trams, buds, Charlie, Brian, Green, and disco biscuits. As long as it's shit. 8 Mars bars will get you 1 bud. 3 shower gels will get you 2. And if you have an ounce of tobacco to swap, you're in heaven. Put on some music and you're back outside. It's Friday night and wow, you're out of here.
Except that in the morning you wake up again in the same place, with the same face, opening your door. You need an even bigger hit next time. I gained my freedom from fighting him. You weren't going to tell me what to do. I was my own man.
You said for the first 3 years your sentence. What then?
Then it suddenly dawned upon me. I was totally predictable. They could see me coming, wind me up. And I decided not to be so predictable.
Higgins! That rubbish on the floor. Pick it up.
I didn't drop it.
I didn't say you dropped it, Higgins. Listen to the words. I said pick it up now.
Okay. Anywhere in particular you'd like me to put it?
In a rubbish bin.
Did you have any particular rubbish bin in mind?
You trying to fuck with me, Higgins?
No, just trying to make sure I've understood your instructions properly.
Watch yourself, Higgins. Don't try to get smart with me. You ever fucking try that again and I will break you like a fucking twig.
You must have felt good.
I was on top of the world. Higher than all the junkies who spend their prison years in a haze of medication.
If you have Galaxy Caramel or Bornfield Chocolate, that's even better than Mars bars. Eat Caramel got me 6 brown last Friday. I slept all weekend. On Friday, Jimmy will be back from parole with a stash of blow. Will keep us going all next month. Then I'll go on the trams and bud.
I found freedom that comes with control of your own actions and emotions. Then suddenly the walls and the metal doors lose their power. I was in command. Anger is the thing you need to control, Tony.
Who do I get angry with? The judge, the jury, the cops who arrested me?
Angry with yourself for being stupid, for getting caught, for doing what you did, for being confined, for missing out. You've loads of choices. Pick the one that fits you.
What about those who never get caught? Or those who just get off with a slap on the wrist because of who they are or who they know or who can afford the fancy lawyers?
I don't know how many times I've done their anger management classes, their cognitive self-change programs, their enhanced thinking skills training, but I've never had a problem with anger. Even in here when they mess you over, I've dealt with it in a calm way. And yet when you disagree with some rule they introduce or raise some issue, they accuse you of being angry and that you need more classes on how to deal with it. No one ever says to them, why don't you change this rule? It doesn't make sense to anyone.
One rule today, a different rule tomorrow. One screw's interpretation of the rule, another screw's interpretation of it. Then how the governor understands it, interprets it, implements it. Then, if they're in a good mood or a bad mood, what time of day it is, what day it is, Monday or Friday. Did they have a row with the wife before they came to work? Did their football team win or lose last night? If they would just stick to the rules.
There are no rules. Get that into your head. They make them up as they go along, so don't expect consistency. There is none. Well, apart from the soggy vegetables.
I just want to do my time and get out.
But whose time will it be? Theirs or yours?
I forget how many times I've been through prison, but it's a lot. Started with Borsals and progressed from there. I work the system, and in turn it works for me. I keep my thoughts private, my hands by my side, my head down, and my eyes and ears open. I take whatever perks I can get. A job in the stores, so I can get my hands on extra blankets or pens or other stuff. Or in the kitchen, where I get the occasional steak or eggs. There's a black market for everything, if you know what I mean.
Take control of the time. Make it work for you. Carve out your own special space. For me, it was to get out into the yard early in the morning.
And they just let you?
I emptied the bins. I dragged it out as long as I could to make the most of it. Then later I offered to brush the yard. Depending on the screw, I could be out there for up to half an hour at a time. Sometimes it's only a moment you catch, but take it, search it out, it's yours, and build on those moments. Before you know it, they're minutes, then hours. And they're yours.
Sign it, Higgins. You got a total of £37.48 to go home with. Don't spend it all at once.
You got family?
Parents.
They standing by you?
My mum says she'll visit.
You rely on those outside, family or friends, for everything really.
But what if they want to forget you? Or ashamed of you? You're on your own, vulnerable, independent. That's a strange feeling for us men.
Thank God my family's been very supportive. I know others who aren't as lucky. I always wonder what they feel when others are called for a visit, or the letters are handed out.
We never really speak in the visits. We talk to one another, but not about anything meaningful. Not about how we really feel. I hear about how the kitchen has been painted a new colour, and I tell her about the trifles I made the lads last week, or the hooch we brewed. Parallel worlds. Our lips speak words, but our eyes tell the truth.
You can write letters that say absolutely nothing.
I'm no good at writing.
You can spend half an hour on a visit or on the phone. You might as well have stayed dumb for all that's been said.
Don't know when I last wrote. Primary school.
Think about what your mother's going through. Write to her. Talk to her. Don't leave it to some imaginary date in the future. That day might never come.
What he do? I was behind him. He's rubbing in. He's rubbing in. Oh, have I got something for you? Yo, you going to be all night there?
Tell Aunt Maureen I got her card. She says she's praying for me.
You wait in the queue to phone. You rehearse your lines. How's it going, love? You okay? The kids okay? Yeah, me. I'm doing fine. Couldn't be better.
And don't forget that book by Hemingway. Yes, Hemingway. Like the hem of your skirt. Then Ingway. Hemingway. Need to go here, Mum. See you Wednesday. Love ya.
I watched the sunset this evening. It was like, wow. The colours were crazy. Wish you'd been here to see them. Oranges and purples and bright reds streamed through the window like, you know, my cell was all glowing. Like a big fireball.
I'll show you a fireball if you don't get off that bloody phone.
Then the queue in front of you is gone. You dial. The phone rings. Please answer. The phone rings. Is she at home? She knew I was the phone at this time. The phone rings.
I've been away now for too many years. I've read all the papers, they told of your tears. Although I've left you with a heart that's been torn, I'm going back now to the place I was born. That's Belfast. You called to me.
Look up, Seaway!
Every morning before the cell door opens, you get the face on. Just like a woman getting ready to go out. The eyeshadow and lipstick and what have you. You put on a face, sure as hell, every day. Only when the doors close behind you at night does that face come off.
Hello, you write me letter. I not want letter from a prisoner. Please not write again. I return your letter. Bye-bye.
I've sent you a photo this time. You're always asking for one. I hope you like it. I was taken on holiday in Spain a couple of years ago, but thought you'd like the view of the mountains. Don't imagine you see any from where you are.
How goes it, Mugger? A wee postcard from the lads in Tenerife, where the beer is cool and the checks are hot. Thinking of you, mate.
Hello, Marie. Thanks for the photo. You look lovely. Wish I was climbing those mountains. You were asking me about the studies I'm doing. To be honest, it was initially to get out of my cell, kill a bit of time. But then it sort of grew on me. Maybe it's just a form of escapism, the way others have music, or reading, or bodybuilding. Some get into the whole legal end of things, appealing their sentences and how they were wrongly convicted. That works for them. For me, it's been education. When you're my age, you don't want to admit that maybe your grammar isn't so good, or your maths are a bit rusty. You could be exposing yourself to ridicule. So why bother? But once you get into it, a whole new world opens up. You see things differently. Suddenly there's not enough hours in the day to learn all the things you'd like to learn. That must sound strange coming from a prisoner. Not enough hours in the day. Tell me about your studies, Marie. Anthropology? I had to go and look that up to see what it meant.
Took me a while to realise that education comes in many forms. It can be used to mould you into the model citizen, the cog in the big wheel, or you can use it to become conscious of the world around you.
Everyone get their homework done? And don't tell me you had no time. I asked you the last day to think over what we've been studying about ideology.
Education in prison is a privilege, not a right. Neither is it part of any resettlement process, so get that out of your head. I repeat, it is a privilege.
So what I want you to do for the next day is look at your upbringing, where you were born, rural or urban, family and school situation, etc.
Of course, if there's any credit to be gained from the outcome of what we have on offer, we will certainly lay claim to it, as is only right and proper.
And I want you to look at how all of these things shaped your understanding of the world and your opportunities, or lack of opportunities in that world.
They try to suck you in with their education and their courses and all that mind-melting shite. They're just trying to get inside your head. And if they do that, you're fucked. They'll control every minute of your day. Even when you're sleeping, they'll be controlling what you dream. Mark my words, stay away from it. Or if it's compulsory like their cognitive bloody self-change crap, just play along with them. Confuse the bastards. Tell them one thing one day and a different thing the next. Sure it's not what they do to us.
The first step in learning is realising or admitting that you don't know. The second step is to go looking for the knowledge. The only thing you have to fear is your own fear. You do any schooling?
Nah, left it to work on the farm.
Make the most of it here. Cost you nothing. Easy to carry around with you.
Sign here, Higgins. Personal property.
Can I ask you something?
Fire away.
Did you ever try to escape?
To where?
To America.
That only works in Hollywood movies. Where would you hide? How would you survive?
I know of a jail where the perimeter wall collapsed and the prisoners were in the exercise yard. They stepped over the rubble and kept on walking round and round. They didn't even notice the wall had collapsed.
After a while, you don't even see the walls. You only see the world you create within those walls.
What do they call that? Institutionalised?
You call it your world. Did you travel on the outside?
Travel where?
Abroad, out of Ireland?
Nah.
What cities have you lived in?
None. I live on a farm.
What cities have you visited?
I've been to Belfast a couple of times.
Lived there?
Visiting a dentist.
So other than that, you haven't been away from home? And would you say you're institutionalised?
Nobody's given me orders to do this and do that.
Really? I've found much more freedom in prison than outside.
Dead on. What size is the cell?
I'm now freer than I ever was.
How's that?
And I realise there is a system. I didn't think that before I came in. I just thought things were as they were, that no one purposely constructed them to be that way. But they did. Those with power. They made the laws.
It's real. It's awful. And then you discover it's meant to be that way.
The problem with you, big lad, is that you think about it too much. It's simple. There's us and there's them. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it will always be. Just you choose which side you're on.
I don't see any big conspiracy. We all have our place in life. It's just people doing what they do best. Horses for courses.
Now you have a choice. Fight it head on. Try to escape it with drugs. Cower down to it. Or overcome it by identifying its weaknesses. Some people only see screws and walls and locked doors and gates. Others see weakness.
Who said that?
A guy called Larry Marley.
Who?
Larry Marley. The guy who masterminded the escape of Republican prisoners from the Maze prison in 1983. They just drove out the front gates of the most secure prison in Europe in a food lorry. Can you imagine? What Larry seen was that despite all their fortifications, the people who controlled them were exactly that. People. No stronger nor no weaker than anyone else. Just people. So when you walk in there, don't be taken in by the image of power, the rattling of keys, the slamming of steel doors, and all that other nonsense they get up to. They're no different from you or me. They just open and close doors. Turnkeys. Larry was able to see that.
Higgins, sign here. Health report.
You got a visit arranged with your mother?
Tomorrow?
Have you spoken to her about what got you in here?
No.
You should.
It would be difficult.
Difficult for whom?
Her?
So you're being thoughtful and considerate of her? For 10 years I never seen my daughter. Didn't want to see her. That sounds a bit heartless, but what good would I have been for her growing up? Her dad, a jailbird. Would have been best for her not to know me. Easier for her. Or is that just what I told myself, to protect myself? Is that how I dealt with the fact that I knew I wasn't going to see her? That her mother would not allow her to see me? That's what prison does to you. Turns things on their head.
You're on your own in here. Forget about the outside. Forget about family and friends. Forget about what went before. It's about the here and now. And the here is prison. And the now is prison. Okay?
But there came a time when I wanted to see my daughter. Needed to know her.
Bury your emotions or learn to take control of them. Keep them in a safe place. That way, only you can get at them.
You can kid yourself that you're doing okay. That you've everything under control. Hatches battened down. But emotions are like volcanoes. Can lie dormant for ages and then suddenly one day erupt. I've seen the scars of those eruptions. The cuts.
What changed for you?
Loneliness, I suppose. Searching for something positive in my life. Eventually her mother let her write to me. 2 years ago. She was 12 by then. Hello, Daddy. Or should I call you Tom, as I've never known you as my daddy? All the other girls in my class have a daddy. Even if they don't all live with them.
So if it's okay with you, I'll call you Daddy. I told my best friend last week that the reason I hadn't told her or anyone about you before now is because you're on a very dangerous mission for the government and that no one must know where you are. But from time to time you write to me and I have to burn the letters after reading them. But I can remember every word you wrote in those letters. I can remember them from when I was a little girl. All the letters I received from Daddy.
Will your daughter be outside waiting for you?
Her dad's on a secret mission, remember? He's not walking out of prison. We'll meet soon. Will I be the man of her dreams? Live up to her expectations?
Transport for Mr. Higgins. That's you, that is, Higgins.
Good luck, kid. You've been given time. Use it wisely.
Don't worry, Higgins. We'll take care of him.